podcast is dedicated to the INS 101 final examination grade, and it is brought to you by Team 70 Anchors, Patrick, Vanessa, Daniel, Kaylin, and John.
And remember, an Effie does not lie, cheat, or steal. Sorry, those who do.
And now for an update on the Kyle Field redevelopment. I'll send it out to our man in the field, Danny.
You're good? Yeah? Don't lie to me. Oh, hey. Thanks, Patrick and Kaylin. So, like they said, we're here at Kyle Field. Right now, as you can see, it's going through some major reconstruction. It's projected to have 100,000 seats by the year 2015, which is a pretty big deal if you think about it. Speaking on that note, population growth is a big issue nowadays. Let me bring up some stats right here. It says by the year 2030, we're projected to have about 8.3 to 10.9 billion. Wow, that's a lot of diapers if you think about it. Alrighty then, well, back to you, Patrick and Kaylin.
Thanks for that update, Danny.
And now for a little bit on the weather. It sure did get cold this morning, and tonight we're looking at a few showers, and tomorrow a high around 39. And with those possible freezing temperatures for tomorrow, be careful choosing your mode of transportation, Aggies. And now for more on transportation, let's head over to Vanessa.
Now an update for transportation. As you can see, there are several people out here waiting for the bus stop, and as we reach 2030, this problem is only going to escalate. So we have to fix possible solutions, making some underpasses, bridges, expansion of streets, and even more eco-friendly cars than there is today.
Thanks for that, Vanessa.
And for a more in-depth sports analysis, let's head to Johnny, Anchorman.
Thank you, Patrick. The Johnny Football Buzz has got tickets selling and shirts flying off the racks, and which overall increases the economy of the Bryan College Station area. That this boost in our economy will continue for Texas A&M and College Station, but this boost will not be experienced everywhere. I predict that the United States and the global aspect will fall as time goes on, whereas other countries such as China and Japan will rise. By the year 2030, China is predicted to have a 3 times greater GDP than it currently has. As of right now, China already has the highest GDP at 11,000 billion a year, but by the year 2030 is predicted to be well over 33,000 billion. That's a look at the change in the future superpowers of this world. Now back to you at the studio.
Thanks for that interesting insight, Johnny.
Now let's take a deep look on the future on wars. Alright, thanks for tuning in to the special edition on war and the future. Pretty interesting stuff. In 2030, there's a lot of different things that are going to change when it comes to conflict, especially on a worldwide scale. Coming from weapons to social classes to actual maybe religious conflicts. There's a lot of different things you got to think about. But one specific thing is terrorism, especially something that we deal with in America a lot right now in 2013. A lot of people say, a lot of experts say that by 2030, terrorism really isn't going to be a big deal anymore. They're not going to really see the point in doing it because, I mean, there's the possibility of so much future technologies that will inhibit their ability to attack, that they're probably just going to stay to themselves and maybe occupy single territories and just rule those areas. When it comes to weapons, a lot of people think that we're going to start, military's going to start doing a lot of drones and lasers. That sounds crazy right now, but just really high-powered lasers that would destroy lots of stuff. Obviously, religion is going to be a huge deal. Christianity and Islam is on a huge rise already, and so by 2030, there's no one has it where the boundaries of those religions are going to be. So they could be meeting boundaries, and that could cause conflicts there. But yeah, just keep an eye out on all that. But that special edition, tune back into the league.
Hey, howdy, thank you. So did anyone hear about Jameis Winston winning the Heisman? Ha, me neither, I'm just joking. I'm Johnny, Anchorman, and this is the Late Night with the League. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the future, particularly the year 2030. And to do that, I have Vanessa and Kaylin here, who are transportation and population experts to talk about the future.
Good evening.
Hi,
Hello.
Vanessa. Hi, Kellen. So, Kaylin, by the year 2030, what problems do you see our population having?
Because of the growing population, we're going to face a number of different problems, starting with the growing carbon emissions that we're going to be having because more people are going to be on the roads. We're going to run low on food and water just because there's going to be so many people, we won't be able to feed them all. We're going to run out of land to build houses and homes. We're not going to be able to place all of these people anywhere. We're going to run out of jobs. There's going to be too many people. There's just not going to be enough jobs for them all to have something to do with their time. In short, we're just demanding too much from this world. There's just going to be too many people, and we're not going to be able to support them.
Right, so it sounds like basically we just won't have the resources.
We're just going to run the earth dry.
Wow. Well, Vanessa, as far as transportation and the movement of people, what problems do you see existing there?
For the most part, I just see with so many people on the road, there's just not being enough road space, or just parking-wise, new parking lots are going to have to be, there's no way to fit all these people in, and traffic's just going to start moving slower, making people impatient. So that's the main problem that I see with transportation, and it's not fast enough for the amount of people that are going to come into the world by 2030.
You're right, so we don't have the capacity to meet the population.
Exactly.
So, Kaylin, by 2030, we'll need some sort of technology to kind of help with these problems. What technologies will exist by that time?
Right, Jonathan, to address a few of these issues for technology, we're going to need some new fuel sources. This carbon emission is just not working anymore. We're going to have to come up with some new fuel sources by 2030 to accommodate for that. And then for food and water, we could throw in some 3D printing for the food and try to see if that saves some of our resource issues. And then they're even looking at some desalination for the water, which is, you go out to the ocean, you bring in some salt water, filter the salt out, and we have some new clean fresh water there. And then we're running out of space here, and so we're thinking about some modular type living, something to maybe go up instead of out, just because we are out of land. And then if you look at all this new technology, all of this new technology will bring in new jobs to the market, and so that'll help with the running low on jobs. We're just going to come up with a whole new field out there for people to work in.
Great. Now, in terms of transportation, I feel like some of those new technologies, as far as helping the population, would be great, and we plan to lower the emissions, but how do we still move people? People never stop moving, so how will we accomplish that?
Well, with new fuels, it will be more eco-friendly to begin with, and then we'll also move more into electric cars, which will probably just eliminate fuels in general. And then just moving faster with bullet trains connecting major cities, and that will also keep people off the roads with their own vehicles, so they'll just use a public transportation. And to eliminate just big vehicles in general, making smaller space cars, which will allow for more parking and for more cars on the road at the same time.
So what innovations or ideas do y'all have that might address some of these problems that we'll be facing moving towards the year 2030?
If you look at the population and the projected population for the year 2030, we're looking at somewhere between 8 and 10 billion people on this world during 2030. So if you look at what some of the countries have already started doing, such as China, they have child limits. They have limits on how many children one couple can have. I see the whole world taking on this rule just to cut down population, just because there is going to be so many people.
So globally, it'd be a combined effort between all people for the betterment of this world.
Correct.
Okay.
We're going to have to work together, or else the 10 billion people in this world is not going to work cohesively.
Right. So how will we move people?
Well, moving people, with the bullet train, I feel like that's one of the best inventions that you can put in order to move people faster. You'll connect major cities such as Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and you can get there in about 30 minutes rather than driving 5 hours, 4 hours to get somewhere. So just faster transportation in general.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love to get to Houston in 20 minutes rather than 6 hours. That has been the Late Night Show with the League, and thanks and get 'em.